clear that throat one last time. Do you want me to blow any of this schmutz out? All right. Hey, this is Davin with Hagerty and our Redline rebuilds. Today I'm working on grinding out and cleaning up this 440 engine block for our 37 Ford race car. Now one might ask, why on earth do you mess around with that? The engine's been running, it's got X amount of years, so on and so forth. Well, here's the thing. The last thing I want to do is after we go through and clean everything up and we mess around with it and it heats and cools relative to the baking process and cleaning, is have some sort of little casting flash come loose and then go down through the oil and then subsequently through my bearings and wipe out my rebuild. So the amount of time it takes to be thorough, not a big deal. So one of the things I like to do is come through anywhere. I usually start in the engine of the lifter valley here. So I'll come in and I'll clean up like this area. Yeah, that's not real bad. If you look back on like on the Pontiac, it was horrendous. But so I'll clean those areas up. And then also any kind of extra goobers that are in there relative to the casting process that are laying in any kind of flats. And then I'll come back out like on the outside of the block. And a good example is here where this casting flash is on here. This is where the parting line is at. I'll clean that up real well because paint's not going to want to stick to that real well. And as far as the factory's concerned, they could have cared less. The problem is in today's world, we get judged on how things hold up. So I need to clean that off. Paint will stick to it a little better. It'll hold up better from a look standpoint. So, and it's kind of right out front where you're going to see it. Otherwise, I'm going to certainly be looking at it relative to, do I notice any cracks, anything crazy like that, just because I'm touching it and flipping it around and all that. But then after that, we're going to take it over, have it completely cleaned. In this case, it is clean relative to grease, but we'll have it blasted and tumbled and all that rigmarole like we normally do on every block and every process. So we'll be over at Thirlby's later on and get this done and ready for the machine shop to cut the cylinders. Now, this time around, I'm not going to use Mikey to cut the bore on this one. We've decided that we're going to use Apex to use, which you've seen with the engine dyno stuff, but horsepower wise, we're going to take it down there, and because they have the engine dyno, we're going to build the motor with them as far as use their process to do things. I'll obviously put it together, and then we'll take it back down there and run it on their engine dyno to give some proof in the pudding that, well, it does more than just run on a stand. We'll put it there. So hang with us. Well, we have the block all deburred and such. Like I mentioned, I did find a couple of those crumbs like from the casting process where it's kind of just a big ball of sand. They had been adhered for quite a while, but a very light tap with a chisel and hammer and they were flying across the room. Now, the other thing I like to do, and you can do this on connecting rods as well, is the idea of taking off sharp edges eliminates some of the stress risers. So for instance, in this casting web, there was a little bit of flash right here, so I just ground that back. Nothing too crazy and major, and then the same thing on the inside. The idea is anywhere where stress could concentrate, it's going to concentrate on a thin area over the thick area. So that eliminates some of the, like I said, stress risers and potentials for problems later down the road. So this point, I'm not gonna bother washing it up because we're taking it right over to Thirlby's. They're gonna blast it, tumble it, wash it, and we'll bag it and have it ready for the machine shop. So that's where we're headed. Going to put this in the pickup truck. I think we should use the Ford today. How does that sound? Well, our block is loaded up in the back of the 46. We got to head over to Thirlby's and get it all cleaned up. Did you say we're all relatives? Oh! Oh! Damn it! We're gonna have to repaint the whole truck now. Our block is in the baking portion of the cleaning process. Now, our block was not all greasy and grimy like this cylinder head. So typically speaking, you come in, your parts are nasty, and opposed to just going right into the sandblaster, you want to clean them and degrease them. So what happens is you go through this baking process, heats it way up, melts everything off, and then it's just dust at that point. We're doing it for really one reason, and all the oil passages and that have not been cleaned. So there's going to be some gunk in them, and then of course the threads. So that'll bake all that out of there, and then we'll just continue down through the process. So after that, we'll jump down into this bin, and in this hopper, it's basically blasting it. So as it tumbles and rotates, it's blowing sand and dust up at it and baking or knocking all that loose particles off of there. So it'll basically sandblast it for all intents and purposes. And then the last process is really just a tumble and let all that stuff back out. So it's gonna tumble around, spray some air on it, also cool the block down as well, because as it bakes, obviously it's gonna get hot. They're firing it. It'll come out of this process clean, look real nice. Set it over here, and this is the mag table, so they'll run, go through and mag check it, put the magnet on there, and puff your iron at it, and then we'll be able to crack check it from there. At that point, for this particular project, we should be done with the block here. We're going to use another shop based on some workflow stuff, and we're going to run it down at the dyno eventually, so we're going to use that shop and run that. So Thirlby's doesn't have a dyno yet, even though I've asked them multiple times, but they're in for it, but said it doesn't really fit their normal build. So at any rate, so that's where we're at, and as soon as it's bouncing through the process, you'll see it, and then we'll be back when we mag check it and make sure our block is good. Am I fat enough to block him? Well, we're back from Thirlby's. We have our block all cleaned up. It is ready to be, oddly enough, oiled down and put on hold for a little bit until we can get down to the machine shop to get the bores punched and go through that process. Looks like we're gonna probably need 60 thou over pistons. Not a big deal, plenty of wall to work with, and we'll have a fresh bore to reassemble this with. Now, I'm gonna put it into a plastic bag and stick it in the corner, and if you're gonna do that, that's fine and dandy, but make sure you oil the block down or you'll have a rusty mess, period. Unless you happen to live in the desert, and then might be different. But most of us, I'll say don't. So, cleaned up, I'm gonna use this, it's actually called Silver Stallion Penetrating Oil. I found this to work really nice. Daryl over at Travers Body and Paint turned me on to this. He likes it better than any of the fish oil stuff. So since he's the guy that's gonna paint it, I try to keep him happy. Okay, there we go. So like I said, I oiled it all down, so it's gonna sit here for a couple weeks before we can get into the machine shop. And obviously right before I take it out down there, I'll put it in the Gladiator parts washer, get all that oil back off, and then it'll go into the machining process down there, and lickety split, we'll have a motor ready to go. It'll be just like that. But until then, get in the shop, get your work done, shoot, find an old block, tear it apart, I don't know, see what makes it tick. We'll see ya. I don't want to tip this down, it hurt my foot.